like people say, like it's discipline that matters. It's not the motivation, right? It's the showing up every day when you don't feel like it. And that is definitely true.
Yes.
But what I find is that sometimes the magic comes from the motivation. Like when you really want to make that jump into something magical and create something special, it comes from motivation. And so what I do is when I find that I am motivated, I use it. Like I use it as a perishable resource. Like in the earlier, I think that I'll always be motivated, but now I understand that motivation fades, and when it's there, just use it. So if you're feeling motivated one day, just sit and work. Don't let any distractions come in the way, and just go along with it, because it's probably going to end at some point, right? So that is
Hello, Zishan. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this interview. Could you share a little bit about yourself and all the cool stuff you're building?
Sure. So my name is Zeeshaan. I'm originally from India, but currently I'm based in Barcelona. So I've done many things in my career. I started out as a software engineer, and then I did an MBA. I worked at a big company, and then I've been starting companies along the way, but nothing really grew until about 3 years ago when I started the Multiverse AI, which does AI headshots. And that one became pretty big, and it's still running, of course. And a few months ago, we started the Influencer AI, which is a similar concept, but it's for generating consistent people with AI. And hopefully, this one targets more brands and companies rather than individuals. Yeah, so that's
That's super interesting. I recently tried out the influencer AI and I was so amazed by the consistency in the characters. And the best part is you can just write a prompt and you will have those influencers doing the exact thing that you mentioned in the prompt.
exactly that's just so fun, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think this can be a really good way for brands to promote their products, as well as for
Yeah,
people who are looking to start a side hustle. They can do that, right?
exactly. It's quite a broad use case right now. So we have some hypothesis on what our ideal customer is, but it's quite broad. Yeah.
That's really cool. So could you share a little bit about how you came up with this idea of building the influencer AI?
Sure. So we were running the Multiverse AI, which does headshots, and we're building up a bit of expertise in this area. And then we began to think it would be really useful if influencers could also hold your product. This is how the idea started. So maybe you train an influencer, but then they also are wearing your T-shirt of your brand or holding your product. So something that was stewing in our heads for a long time. And then the other thing was with AI headshots, you upload your photos and then you get your AI headshot. But what if you want a completely imaginary person, but the same person in not headshots, but for whatever, but you want the same AI person? And this was also in our heads. And then finally, we also realized, okay, AI video is really growing
Yeah.
very fast right now. And so all these things kind of came together in our heads. And then with the tech, we cracked all of them. So we cracked consistent characters. We cracked the videos. With product, it's still not all the way there, but it's getting there. Try-ons work very well now. So you can like wear clothes with your brand on it and things like that. And so this is what we realized, okay, now the tech can do this. And I think it's the right time for it. But of course, the use cases is the key thing, right? And my wife and I, so I say we because my wife and I do most of these things together. So she's a UX designer, yeah, and I do the engineering, and she does the design work. And so we owned an e-commerce store many years ago, back when I was a full-time employee. And at that time, getting photos for your product or getting someone to hold them was very difficult to do. We used to take manual photos and things like that. And so we knew that this could be useful. And then there were little anecdotes, like people, when they know that I have this AI headshots company, they come to me and they're like, hey, can I also have a person like this for my brand? But not me, but someone else that's AI generated. And so then we realized, hey, the use case is there too. And then one day I was looking for the name and I was doing Google keyword research, and AI influencer is a keyword that is really
Yes.
going up right now.
Yeah.
So the thing is that AI influencers is one use case. It's not exactly the intent for everyone. Like an e-commerce store owner, if he wants a model, he's not going to look for the word AI influencer. So it's not ideal also, but I think it's still catchy. And so I think it still works.
That's cool. Yeah. So it has
Yeah.
been a few months of running this company, right?
Yeah, it's been just 1.5 months now. Yeah,
Oh,
since
wow.
we launched it. Yeah, I've been building it for a few months, but yeah, it's a month.
That's really nice. So, any like, after you launch this product, have you seen any interesting use case that you never thought people would use this for, but they are like something really unexpected?
Yeah, it seems like people, it's more consumers. I imagine that it would be B2B.
Mm.
but it's just a lot of people using it, uploading their own photos, and then seeing what they look like in different situations.
Oh, okay.
So it's also that consumers. Yeah, so that is one thing I didn't expect, but that is how people are using it. And then there's also some of them are what we would expect. So for example, there's one guy who owns a suit company, he makes suits, and he's using us to generate photos of models wearing suits.
That's
So that is exactly what we imagined it would be used for. So it's that, and as well as completely different, which is just like regular people seeing what they uploading photos of themselves and seeing what they can do with that. So yeah,
that's
it's still early days. So yeah.
Yes, yes. Actually, I recently went to one of the, like, it was just an entrepreneurs meetup in Hyderabad where I live currently, and a lot of people were discussing AI influencers, and some of them were talking about having AI influencers on platforms like OnlyFans, and people
Yeah.
actually pay a lot for AI influencers, even though they know this is AI, but
Yeah.
it's like a
I
very
mean,
interesting side hustle.
absolutely. I mean, one pivot would be for us to kind of become like an OnlyFans, AI OnlyFans, where you can like make your own. So not only where you make your character, but the whole platform could be
Yeah.
on it. That's like
Oh, that's
one
interesting.
potential. Yeah.
I think
I
that
mean, yeah,
there's
maybe
there
down
is
the
hope
line.
for
Yeah.
that.
I think so. It's the tech is very similar, right? You generate the person of your dreams, and then maybe you pay the AI person to do the things that you want it to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only the complicating factor is when it goes in the direction of becoming more explicit or sexual, then things like Stripe become a problem, because
Yeah.
that Stripe is our payment processor. Also, we're incorporated in Singapore, which doesn't look very favorably on these things, but those are the stuff that can be solved.
Yeah.
It's still interesting. It's an interesting angle. Yeah, that you thought of. It's good. It's cool that you thought of it, because it's something that was in our heads as well.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people were discussing about this, and I know a few people from LinkedIn who are actually using AI on OnlyFans and making good money, like $1,000+ every month from it. So it's really interesting.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah.
So since it's a brand new company, what are some growth strategies that you're using to make sure it reaches your ideal customer?
Yeah. So we're going with what we know. So what we usually go with is we first start with broad, and then we get more and more niche. So we have a rough idea of what our ideal customer is, but we are not sure. And so it starts out with us using LinkedIn, just our own network, LinkedIn and Twitter. So I talk about the product on LinkedIn or on Twitter, and that gets maybe not the ideal people, but our friends who want to try it out and give us the first level of feedback.
Yeah.
Um, then we go a little bit narrower, where we get people to review us or talk about us, talent people like you, for example, to check it out and see what it looks like. Then the other effective way is to get listed on AI tool websites. So there are a few, like there's one called There's an AI for that,
Mhm.
where
Yeah.
people actually go there. Well, the AI tool websites are a mixed bag. So some of them really nobody actually goes there to look for AI tools. So there's no point in listing there.
Yeah.
But yeah, but some of them people actually use it to discover tools. And so we've listed on a bunch of these, and we're getting a lot of traffic from there as well. So this is all the broad reach strategies. Oh, and there's another one where we are building free tools. So we're building like a try-on. We've taken it out of the base app, and we've also made a free version of it, so just to get traffic. So this works for us.
So that's
And then
like
the next
uploading your picture and trying on some clothes.
trying on clothes. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
Yeah. And the next step would be more targeted. So like paid media. Also, Reddit worked very well for the Multiverse AI, the AI headshots company. With this one, I've not tried it that much, but Reddit is hard, and you have to create good value when you make
Yeah.
Reddit posts, right? You can't just plug your product in. So that's another the future.
That's cool. And have you thought of launching on Product Hunt? Because a lot of AI companies get traction on Product Hunt as well.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, Product Hunt is on our list. Probably in the next few weeks. Yeah,
Love
will
it.
be Product Hunt as well. Yeah.
So exciting
Yeah.
times ahead.
Of course, yeah, yeah, yeah. There's lots to do. There's lots to try out. Yeah.
Of course. So my next question is regarding competing in the crowded AI space. So many AI tools coming up every day. Now ChatGPT also does so many things, right? Just by uploading a picture
Absolutely.
and a prompt. Gemini has so many new updates. So how are you planning to differentiate and stay ahead in this competitive space?
Yeah. So there's three things. The first one is that your change doesn't have to be like you don't have to make a groundbreakingly different product. If your product is just different in one small way, that's enough. That's good enough, right? For example, I use ChatGPT, but I also use Gemini, I use Claude, I use Grok. I pay for all of them, and they're kind of similar, but each one is just different enough
Yes.
that they've earned my subscription.
Mm.
So that's the key thing to keep in mind. Just have to be a little different. Um, the next thing is that you can be different not just in product but also in the marketing channel you use, because some products maybe are very big on Instagram, for example, but they've never tried Reddit, or they've never tried maybe Twitter or something like that. So when you think about differentiation, it's not just on product, but think about differentiation in terms of channel as well, where you reach people who've not normally seen this kind of product. Maybe offline advertisements, maybe an ad in a on the subway, for example. So that's the other thing to keep in mind. Second one, and the final thing is to focus on what makes you unique as a founder as well. So for us, for example, for me, building tools or the product, it comes easy to me. So I can put a lot of time into a product, make a good product. And with these free tools, for example, that's what they call engineering as marketing, where I build a bunch of free tools and I get people to try it out because it's free and there's less barrier to entry. The other one we just implemented is something called an edit with a prompt. So earlier, when you wanted to edit photos, you had to like highlight the section you wanted changed and then describe it. But now, this is only for the past 2 or 3 weeks now, you can just describe what you want changed in a photo and it changes it. And it's very, very good. And we don't even have this on our base app yet, but I already built the free tool and I launched it a week ago, and it's been getting a bunch of traffic. And a lot of those customers are converting then onto our main product. So, little ways like this is where you can differentiate. And one other thing I thought about, try on. I don't know if you know this, but Google has a try on.
Yes, yes,
right? Like
I know about
have
it.
you used it? Have you tried it out?
Actually, no, I have not.
Yeah, it's not your fault. It's because it's impossible to find. I
Okay.
was literally trying to find it, and it leads me to, like, they want me to go to their beta labs version, and then the links are broken. And so Google does things like this where they announce stuff, but it's not actually ready, and they're so slow as corporates that they often don't do this in like a fast way, and even well sometimes. Like
Yeah,
with Apple Intelligence, it's been like they've been talking about it for a year, but there's nothing really there. These big
yeah,
companies are more marketing, but not actually so much in the product sometimes. So yeah, I think small companies definitely have a chance. It's one thing with the money. Like, of course, big companies have a lot of money to throw in the marketing,
yeah.
but I definitely think it's possible.
That's
Yeah.
so interesting. Today I've heard this new term for the first time, engineering as marketing. I think
Yeah.
that's so cool, and it's very
Yeah.
organic as well. And you don't have to hire a bunch of sales people. You can just do it by
Yeah.
yourself.
Exactly. Yeah.
So my next question is regarding the role of AI in scaling startups.
Yeah.
Right now you mentioned, right, corporates, they have a lot of money to throw around. So now with AI, it's sort of leveling the playing ground because small companies, they can do SEO, they can do influencer marketing just by using AI. So what are
Yeah.
your thoughts on how small teams can compete with billion-dollar companies now versus say 2 years ago?
Yeah. The biggest advantage, I think, is I mean, maybe I'm seeing this from an engineering angle, but it's the engineering, it's the product. Because earlier, if you wanted to build something that was fairly complex and you just didn't have the technical expertise for it,
Yeah.
you'd kind of be stuck. Whereas a big company would not have this problem, right? But now you're stuck somewhere and you just paste your code into ChatGPT or Claude, and it spits out a solution. It helps you architect the app as well. So this barrier has really been reduced a lot, and I think we will see a huge influx of applications of people being able to build stuff. With the marketing, also, it makes things easier, but not as much, especially now with the fact that almost anyone can make a product and make a good product. The key will be, how do you differentiate? How do you stand out in this crowded market?
Yeah.
And their AI probably can help you less. It's more about building your personal brand and things like that, right? That suddenly now becomes even more important than it was before.
Yeah.
And you know this also.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So I think this is becoming more and more important. So AI is helping with the product, but now marketing is becoming even more critical.
Yeah, I think it all depends on how you can show your individuality, like on platforms like Twitter or LinkedIn, where everyone is just
Yeah.
posting generic ChatGPT content. If you can show yourself as different, that's how you
Yeah.
build the community. Like, I think it's more about community now, like how many people trust you, trust your voice.
Yeah, that's spot on. It's so much of that now, right?
Yes.
And yeah, I'm trying to leverage it to the fact that, okay, making a product is faster. So I'm just trying to make a lot of products and like using that also to build my credibility. That,
Yeah.
hey, look, I'm actually someone who's building stuff. And again, this engineering is marketing. It works well when the engineering becomes easier with AI. So
Yeah. Yeah, love that.
Yeah.
So do you have any insights to share for aspiring AI founders? For anyone who's looking to build and scale with AI in these coming months?
Yeah. It's like it's always been with startups. It's a numbers game. So the odds of any single one becoming successful is low. And so if you want to increase your odds of success, you just have to try many times. If you roll a dice once, the odds of a six are 1 in 6. But if you roll a dice 10 times and you want just 1 6 out of any of those 10, of course, the odds are more likely that you will get it, right? But the difference with the startup is also that the more attempts you make, each new attempt, your chances are higher because you've learned something, you've taken something from the previous one, and so if you just try more times, I feel like it's almost inevitable that you will succeed. So that is the key. But that is not at all easy, right? It's like it's a grind. You have to be used to just showing up every day, willing to take the failure. It does help if you either have another job as well, or you have savings, or you have a partner who's working, or you have one successful company behind you, so you have something to build off of. But yeah, it's just a consistency game. Also, the ones who try the longest are the ones who usually are successful.
Yeah, that's true. So a lot of founders I personally know, like what happens is when they start building something with AI, they build it and then in 2 days some new update comes. So they will try to incorporate that as well. It's basically getting,
Yeah.
it's like the shiny object syndrome. People keep
Yeah.
getting distracted by the new tech, new advancements. So do you have any thoughts around that?
Yeah, I would say to not do that actually. So I mean, if there's a big jump, of course you have to incorporate it, and that's just the nature of AI right now. Sometimes it
Yeah,
makes big jumps, but I would not get lost in the little details. So once you have something that's solid and like it works, then just double down on getting the word out there, getting people to know about this product. Maybe tweaking it so it actually solves the problem, but not the shiny syndrome. Shiny object syndrome is really it comes in the way for sure.
it does.
With the multiverse, for example, it's a simple product, and we iterated it till it does what people need, and then it just runs on autopilot. It's and sometimes when there's a big change, we incorporate it. But for the little changes, sometimes with these little AI changes, you don't even know for sure if it's better, because the thing with AI is for every outcome there's some variance, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes you try a new prompt, or you try another AI service and you think, oh, maybe this is slightly better. But that could just be explained by the fact that there is natural variability in AI responses, right? So it's
Yeah.
hard to say this is concretely better, right? So it's definitely not worth it to just jump every time there's a minor change.
True, that makes sense. I think that focus is important. Like be focused on one goal and build it no matter what and not get distracted by other things happening.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with this one.
All right, awesome. So any insights on team building as a solo founder? Like, if you are starting out, how do you get your first teammates? Because the first hires are super important, and
Yeah.
that's where most new founders also fail because they ask their friends and their friends don't show the same excitement as them. So any tips or
uh,
any insights from your experience?
yeah, I've also failed here actually. So we hired a developer a year ago as well. We just found him through LinkedIn, and it didn't work out. So it ended up costing us more time than it actually helped. So it is a struggle to hire people for me. But I have found success in maybe not hiring, but collaborating with people who are good at what they do, and on a contract basis, or as freelancers, or just helping each other out. I find this has worked well. So also one person who I've worked with well is my sister. Actually, she does the customer support and outreach on Multiverse.
Okay.
So this is one example of when I actually hired someone who was a friend or a family, and it actually worked out. So I think she was the one actually who even discovered you. Her name is Sanaya. She was the one
All
who I
right.
think reached out. Yeah.
There's
So yeah. So it is hard to find the right people, but I think using your network, maybe your friends is of course a tricky thing, right? Sometimes, I mean, with co-founders also, it's a tricky thing.
yeah.
I've had fights with friends when I've worked together, but maybe not your friends, but your network. If you can find people from your network, I think this can work. And this is still a work in progress for me because it's not like I figured it out. So, but I think that's the key there.
Yeah, makes
Or
sense.
extended network, yeah.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. So now let's talk a little bit about work-life balance as a founder because you're already juggling so many things, wearing so many hats. How do
Yeah.
you make sure that you do not burn out? How do you make sure that you always, you have that spark to get up, keep working on it? A lot of people get lost in this as well, right? So how do you maintain that work-life balance?
I read a post on Twitter that said I quit my job to escape the 9 to 5, and now I work 24/7.
That's so
And
relatable.
that is so relatable. Yeah, that is the most relatable thing. So I work 7 days a week, but maybe not 8 hours a day. So I have a son who's 2.5 years old, so he needs my time in the evening as well.
Okay.
So I don't at the moment have a great balance. But it kind of works in seasons. So the thing is that, like people say, like it's discipline that matters. It's not the motivation, right? It's the showing up every day when you don't feel like it. And that is definitely true.
Yes.
But what I find is that sometimes the magic comes from the motivation. Like when you really want to make that jump into something magical and create something special, it comes from motivation. And so what I do is when I find that I am motivated, I use it. Like I use it as a perishable resource. Like in the earlier, I think that I'll always be motivated, but now I understand that motivation fades, and when it's there, just use it. So if you're feeling motivated one day, just sit and work. Don't let any distractions come in the way, and just go along with it, because it's probably going to end at some point, right? So that is the key, I think, also to use the motivation but not depend on it. So still show up every day for the grind and use the motivation for the magic.
I love that. And I personally do that as well. Like when I feel motivated, even if there are plans, I just cancel them because I know this flow is not going to last. So I need to make the most of it. But you cannot rely on only motivation.
Yeah.
Ultimately, what comes to your savior is discipline. You need to have the discipline to show up every day.
Absolutely. Yeah. And sometimes when you start working, also like the motivation comes from there as
Yes.
well, right? It's
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like for me as a writer, it's like if I have no motivation to write, I have a rule that I should write 200 words. After writing
Ah,
200 words, usually the motivation always comes. It rarely fails. So
that's
that's
a great
what I
system.
do.
That's a great system. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, just like sit down and just commit to like 15 minutes of the thing, whatever your
Yes.
work task is. And then after that, you can see how you feel. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I love that. All right. So before we close this, do you want to share any cool stuff that's coming up for the influencer AI, your future plans with the company?
Yeah. So well, one thing is right now we have a hard paywall. So people can't really use the app at all
Mhm.
until they so now we're exploring a bit more of a soft onboarding. So
Okay.
even without paying, people could perhaps try out a few things.
Mhm.
And then the next engineering is marketing tool we're considering is image to video. So you just upload an image and
Okay.
turn that into video, because a lot of people now are asking me, they just have a photo. So for example, well, to use an example, my sister again, she dances tango, and
Mhm.
she has a photo of herself and her tango partner, and she wants to turn this into a video that she can use for her marketing material. And so she came to me asking for that. And
Okay.
now for her to do that on the platform, she would have to go through the entire flow till she gets to the video section, but
Yes.
she already has a photo. And so I thought this is a great free tool idea again. I mean, it's expensive for us. So as a free tool, it would be tricky, but this
Yeah.
would be another potential. And just clear, easy image to video on our website. And we are on the best video models right now, one of the best. So there's Google's Veo 3 that I
Yeah.
don't know if you've heard of. That is
Yeah, I have heard of
amazing.
it. Yeah. I
That is
haven't tried
that's
it though. Last time I checked, it wasn't available in India yet. I haven't checked
yeah.
that.
That's the other thing. It's not available in India, but the APIs are available for me. And so I could make that available and then, for example, sell it to people in India, right?
Oh, wow.
Something like that. Yeah, yeah. But that's not image to video, that's text to video. So I maybe that will be the next thing as well that I can improve. So yeah, lots of things
I love it. So
to
just
come.
yesterday, I was using the influencer AI and I created some videos of a person working out in the gym, and then I made that into a video, and it was so accurate. It looked, I think you saw the YouTube video, right? It looked,
Yeah, yeah, I love that one.
I
I
was
like
super
Rahul.
impressed with
Yeah.
it.
It was inspiring me to go to the gym after I took a look at it.
So when you say you're on the best video models, I know that you're not joking because it's really true. Like the videos, they look super, like very realistic.
Yeah, yeah, we're lucky that it's worked out like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Awesome. So thank you so much, Zeeshaan, for your time and for your candid thoughts. I found it super inspiring. I'm sure the people listening found it inspiring as well.
I hope so. Yeah. Thank you, Anush. I had a really nice time. Yeah.
Thank you so much.